Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leigh Fuge, and in this video today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Harley Benton HB35 Plus in the brand new metallic blue finish. The HB35 has been in the Harley Benton range for quite a while. You've probably seen this before, but this is one of the brand new colors for 2021. So they've just launched this really cool metallic blue. There's also a metallic pink rose color and a metallic green color. So I do have to say, before we dig into the specs of this guitar and listen to what it sounds like, I'm not getting paid for this video, but Harley Benton have provided me with the guitar, and this will be staying here with me. So you can see, looking at the HB35 Plus, what it's based on. It's obviously in that 335 style architecture. So like I said, this is a brand new color for the range. This guitar's been out a while. There's a couple of different colors already in the system, but this is one of the new three that I mentioned. Obviously, I've got it here in this really cool metallic blue. So we've got a maple body on this guitar. So you can see the maple top has got this metallic blue finish attached to it, which is very, very reflective, as you can see in the close-up cam. This is an arched top, maybe not as arched as you'd expect from a 335, but it's still arched nonetheless. The maple back and sides are both finished in this sort of orangey amber color, which looks really cool. Sort of complements the blue top very nicely. We've also got a maple neck, which is finished in the same color as the back and sides of the body, and a Pau Ferro fretboard. Now, Pau Ferro, if you're not sure on what that is sort of quite common on modern guitars these days. A guitar like this going back would typically have a rosewood fretboard, but due to various treaties and sort of import and export laws, the sort of movement of rosewood was tightened up because basically some builders were using quite endangered species of rosewood. So Pau Ferro is sort of like a rosewood substitute. It has the same properties, but it's a lot easier to sort of manufacture. It's cheaper, and obviously you can travel with it anywhere you want without any restriction. So on the Pau Ferro fretboard, we've got some block inlays and 22 frets. We've got a nut at the top, and obviously the Harley Benton headstock with the gold vintage style tuners, 3 aside as you'd expect. It's a set neck guitar. It's pretty much got all the usual things you'd expect from a 335 style. So on top of the body, we've got 2 humbuckers. These are both Roswell LAF humbuckers. These are sort of their take on the PAF, but these are also coil splittable. So down here we've got 4 control pots. As you'd usually expect, you've got the 2 volumes and the 2 tones, the bridge and the neck. But each of these pots is a push-pull to split the respective humbucker. So that's the bridge, that turns it into a single coil, and that turns the neck pickup into a single coil. We've got a 3-way switch, which unusually for this type of guitar is situated up here. Usually it's down here by the controls, but that kind of makes it easier if you're used to playing something like a Les Paul. And we've also got this tunematic style bridge, which is pretty typical of these type of guitars. I'm not sure exactly what the fret size is, but the fretwork is very well done. There's no sharp edges. and it's all situated on a 12-inch radius fingerboard. So with this being a Harley Benton guitar, it's very, very affordable. These brand new on the Thomann website, for anyone in the UK, they're listed at about £180. Obviously that doesn't include VAT and import duty, but that's pretty affordable for a guitar that looks as good as this looks. Straight out of the box, I was really impressed by the way this thing looked. I mean, there's a couple of little things that aren't perfect, but you're not going to get a perfect guitar in this price point. From a distance, it really looks the part. There's, you know, a few little finishing errors here and there. There's a little lacquer crack here where the neck joins the body, which you can feel more than you can see. And there's just a couple of little detailing things around these F holes and maybe some of the binding on the sides there, which again, you're not going to see this on the close cam because it's very small detailing. But there are little imperfections in there, but again, for the price, you can't really fault it. Out of the box, the setup was actually really good. The guitar has been here for about a day now. I've given it a day to sort of settle down from the transit. It holds tune really well. These are obviously just their own branded tuners, but they seem pretty solid. They don't seem like they're going to slip out anytime soon. The fretwork is great, like I said. Actually, I'm really surprised just how neat the fretwork is, because usually when you buy a guitar in this price point, there's a few little things that you may need to tweak or may need to adjust at some point. But honestly, out the box, this is pretty good. The only thing I really found with the setup, and again, this is maybe not a big thing, it's sort of maybe just me picking at something here, but the bridge is set very, very high. Now, I don't know how clear you can see that on the close cam, but it's set pretty high. This is pretty much a lot higher than I would normally have it. And the reason for this is the neck is actually slightly backbowed. Now, this would be easily fixable with a truss rod adjustment, bring a bit of relief into the neck and then lower the bridge. But actually, that said, the action is very comfortable. So even though the neck has got that slight back bow, the action is very comfortable and there's not really any dead notes. So even though that's something, you know, that I wouldn't set a guitar up that way myself, that's not really a deal breaker. So it's actually a good setup and it plays well straight out of the box. The action's very comfortable and yeah, it's pretty good. Aside from tuning it up, giving the strings a quick stretch, I haven't really plugged this thing in. I just plugged it in earlier to make sure it works. Hit the switch a few times to make sure there's sound. So a lot of the sort of tones we're going to hear are going to be the first time for me as well as you guys. So I'm quite excited by this. I've played a few Harley Bentons over the last year and I've always been very impressed. So it's going to be quite cool to really get into this and see what it's all about. So visually, setup wise, hardware, build quality, very impressive. So now the real fun starts when we plug it in and see what it sounds like. So I'm going through the Blackstar Studio 10 6L6, which is mic'd to the Lewitt Audio LCT microphone. The amp is currently set to clean. I'm going to be switching on a couple of drive pedals as we go as well, but we'll start off by looking at some clean tones. So I'm just going to play a little bit in humbucker mode, switch between the pickups and see what it sounds like. First impression is pretty good. It's got that nice rounded sort of semi-hollow 335 thing going on that we'd expect. Now I'm going to coil split the pickups and see what that sounds like. coil split sounds on the neck and middle position sound pretty good. I think the bridge is a bit too thin for my taste. It's kind of like a strap bridge pickup, but again, not many people tend to use a single coil in the bridge position, where having coil splittable pickups is really useful, especially when you can individually split each coil. So when you play in this middle position. So what I could do is I could split the bridge pickup and have the neck pickup on humbucker mode. Or I could do the opposite and have the bridge humbucker with a neck single coil. That's really useful for getting some different clean tones. So I'm going to go now to a low gain crunch sound. I'm using the Ceriatone Centura. I'm going to go through the pickups again in humbucker mode. So those Roswell LAF pickups definitely have a vintage voice. You're not going to get a ton of sort of modern high gain sounds out of this thing. It's definitely leaning more on that classic vibe. So those are really clear sounding pickups. They've got a lot of bite, especially that bridge pickup, really good for classic rock. So let's coil split these things now and see what they sound like with a bit of drive. So even in single coil mode, they do handle a bit of gain quite well. We kind of slip into like Telecaster style territory there. Some very nice sort of cutting bluesy rock tones. So I've now added another gain stage after the Centura. I've turned on the Tate FX Antares, which is like a tube screamer type drive. So I'm just going to play a bit now in humbucker mode with a bit more gain. pickups do take a bit of gain quite well too, and they don't get too modern sounding. You definitely still stick in that classic ballpark. Now it's always worth checking out the tone control range on a guitar like this as well. It's a vintage vibe guitar, and as we can hear, it sounds like it's got that sort of vintage 335 type aesthetic. It's definitely not a guitar to play super heavy down-tuned stuff on. It's definitely more comfortable in that classic rock range, but you can get a lot of dynamic out of these guitars by what goes on down here with the tone controls. So I'm just going to play a bit now on all 3 pickup positions and just manipulate the tone control so we can hear the range of what it can do. So there you go guys, there is a look at the brand new Harley Benton HB35 Plus in this really cool metallic blue color. Like I said, this is a brand new color for 2021, so if you want to check this out, there are some links down below in the description where you can get your hands on one of these yourself. So while I have played some Harley Bentons before and I've always been impressed, this is the first time I'm really getting to sit down with one and spend a bit of time with it. So as I said at the start of the video, there are a couple of little imperfections throughout the finish, but I mean, you know, that's not a big deal. For the price of this guitar, it is exceptionally well built. I really think for the money, you're going to struggle to find things that kind of outperform this because it's very much built to a high standard. They definitely spent a lot of time refining the rough edges on something like this to really make it a good playable guitar for the money. Now, at the risk of, you know, sort of saying something that I may regret, it definitely feels good enough quality to gig with. You know, I would not hesitate to take this out and play it on stage. I don't know if it would stand up to like a full professional tour, but you know what, if you're taking this out to your local bar and playing a couple of songs, or you're starting your first band up, this would definitely get you through a few gigs. It feels robust enough, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart in my hands. All the hardware and all the, you know, the electronics, everything feels pretty solid. None of the pots are scratchy, there's no sharp ends on the fretboard. Pretty much everything you hope for in a guitar that costs way more money than this does. So I think for the price, it's very, very surprising. I think you get a lot of refinement considering the guitar costs under £200, or under £250, I should say, after you pay, like, you know, your VAT and your import charge into the UK. Obviously, if you're watching this from outside of the UK, check Thomann for whatever your local price is. I'm just going by the prices in the UK. So yeah, all in all, I think this is fantastic value for money. This is such a cool 335 style guitar. It's got a really nice neck. The neck is actually quite chunky, quite fat, but it feels really nice. It's really comfortable to play. And like I said, yeah, the fretboard is fantastic. That Pau Ferro fretboard is finished really well, and the frets are really, really smooth. Holds tune well, the pickups work great. All in all, I think this is a bit of a winner. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the brand new HB35 in metallic blue. Let me know if you guys have had any experience with Harley Benton guitars yourself. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this brand. I really think these guys are something to keep an eye on, because obviously as their quality goes up and up and up, these are going to be a bit of a force to be reckoned with in the sort of budget to mid-price guitar world, I think. With the price on this thing, it definitely appeals to newer players. So if you're a beginner looking for a really great guitar, something like this is fantastic to get those kind of classic Eric Clapton style blues tones on a massively tight budget. But also if you're an intermediate player or even a pro, you may actually enjoy having one of these in your collection, because it's a very, very nice guitar to play. It's a lot of fun, plays great, sounds great, and yeah, like I said, it's super affordable. So even if you just buy one for fun, just because it's cheap, it's definitely a guitar that you'll keep wanting to play, I think. It feels quite inspiring to play. You know, like I said, I've only had it here a day, but I'm definitely going to be getting a bit more use out of this thing, and it'll probably make an appearance in a bunch more videos as well. So like I said, let me know down below what you think of this guitar, what you thought of the video, the tones you heard, and also, like I said, any of your own experiences with Harley Benton. And while you're down there doing that, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.